Time now for a very special edition of Fallback. I am joined by comedian extraordinaire Margaret Cho. She's headlined national comedy tours and done All-American Girl and earned an Emmy for her portrayal of the late North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il on 30 Rock.
In NBA action, Kim Jong-un won the championship today. Our brilliant comrade scored 200 points and then went hot tubbing with a couple guys he's definitely just friends with.
Excuse me, lady. You do the vow? You know, speak now or forever hold your peace, but...
Oh, my God. Are you?
No, I'm nobody. Kim Jong-il is dead. I'm only waiter.
Only Waiter. The new podcast, The Margaret Cho, is on the Erios Network, and her comedy tour right now is fresh off the bloat. Check that out. Also with us, Howard Dean. You know him as a governor, a presidential candidate, a party chair, and yes, a doctor. Thanks for both of you being here.
Thank you.
Who needs to fall back?
Well, my first is I use my role as a doctor. There's a congressman named Chris Smith who thinks that Lyme disease is caused by a CIA drug experiment. And that's the reason that so many 300,000 people a year get Lyme disease in the United States. That's pretty scary.
Where do you
He's a congressman.
Yeah, he's a policy maker. So he's Obamacare policy. He's in charge.
Well, he's on the other side of the aisle, so Obamacare is not his favorite.
Getting rid of it, maybe.
Right, getting rid of it. I'd like to get rid of Lyme disease. Actually, maybe do we have to get rid of the CIA to get rid of Lyme disease?
I mean, that's a big question. Does it trip you out how little some politicians know about medicine?
It doesn't trip me out how little they know about medicine. It's that they're willing to talk about it when they know they don't know anything.
Stay in your lane.
Which is a common, stay in your lane.
Margaret, what's on your fallback list?
I think maybe it's white people who think that they are people of color.
I've heard about this.
That's a good, I mean, can't we have just one thing? I want to just have, be able to own one thing, being a person of color. I mean, white is a color.
Okay. I thought white was the absence of color on the color wheel.
Is it? I mean, well, it to me, and for example, I guess I would say that in white people, it seems like the absence of racism or the absence of hardship. That's sort of my perception of white privilege. But I think also part of that is like this idea that we live in a world that is post-racist, or somehow we're beyond that, but we're in the midst of it.
When you're out doing shows, do you notice anything different about where maybe people or the culture are from reactions when you're touring? I
don't know. You know, I think that right now there's a lot of people who are just very angry and very desperate, and now it's actually crossing party lines. It's not as we seem to really owe this sort of allegiance to our parties before, but I think now all of that has kind of gone away, and there's a lot of people that just need to laugh.
Do you have anything else on your fallback list?
No, the Facebook, the Face app thing. I think this is on Margaret's list too, and she's a lot funnier than I am, so I don't dare say anything. But basically, there was a very funny tweet this morning on my Twitter feed from some older guy who's saying, how come a younger generation thinks it's time to move out of their way if 100 million people are giving away their facial recognition, artificial intelligence for nothing, which can be used you have to sign something online that says it can be used in perpetuity for the rest of their life for whatever reason they want without paying them any royalties. So there's 100 million kids who signed up for this on Face app. And it's a Russian app.
The counter argument is, it's fun for 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, I already know where my wrinkles are. I know where they're coming in. When you hit 50, this is not a fun app anymore. This is more just like a mirror. Now,
I heard you were also interested in what one of your fellow comedians is doing. Talk about entertainment and politics. Jon Stewart roasting Rand Paul.
Which is great. And, you know, this is a very simple thing. He's just wanting to take care of the first responders of 9/11, people who were very affected by 9/11, by the tragedy, by the, all of the fallout, not just, PTSD, of course, but everything, all of the stuff that was happening. They deserve to be taken care of. And, Rand Paul's kind of using it as a platform for his own idea of, there should be somehow a cap on government spending, and it's just, it's confusing the issue. This is about taking care of people that we need.
I want to ask you a serious question about this somewhat goofy topic, right? Which is, what is it about Jon Stewart as a comedic truth teller that he's been so effective? Because everyone's got freedom of speech, but I don't think people believe that if Dane Cook was waging this effort, it might have gone as far. He has been, by all accounts from our reporting in Washington, very effective at keeping this on the front burner.
There's something to the fact that he was reporting news at a very difficult time in this country where people didn't want to look at news anymore. They wanted to have some way to absorb it, that humor that would somehow help us, but without losing the humanity, without losing the real information, without an apparent agenda, which I think John's always had. He's got an earnestness to him, and and I think that he's really. This is a really important issue. So,
Governor, what do you think about that? Because in a sea of partisanship, division, and also frivolity, this comedian has been laser focused on getting support to 9/11 victims since 2001.
When John was on the air, this is a true, the majority of people under 30 got their news from Jon Stewart every night. So, I mean, he has enormous, now those people are almost 50 or 40. So,
well, according to FaceApp, they're like 80.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, he is an unbelievably effective truth teller, and he was 20 years ago.
Governor Howard Dean.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Margaret Cho, first time on the beat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.